Looks like we're ready to go. We'll go ahead,
Yes.
Madam Clerk, if you would call us to order.
Certainly. Looks like we have a quorum. Please, members, state your names for the record. Members from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
John Echeverria.
Thank you very much. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Phil Duper.
Thank you. Member Rigsby is also expected. Member from the County of San Bernardino, 2nd District.
Jesse Armendariz.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino, 5th District.
Baca present.
Thank you. And members from the City of San Bernardino.
One for the roll.
Thank you very much. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comments submitted for closed session?
For closed session, no, I do not have any in front of me and was not given any online.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to adjourn to closed session right now.
Thank you.
Mr. Lewin, is there anything to report?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the board approved an amendment to an existing contract that we have. However, it has not been formally accepted by the other party at this time. Until such time as that takes place, it needs to remain confidential. After the acceptance, it would be available upon request.
Okay, thank you very much. As a point of order, I want to let you know that our translator okay. You might have to come and actually stand up here because I know we have some sound issues. And so translation services here, however, I guess the earphones they were supposed to get did not come?
Yes, correct. Oh, you got them? Wonderful.
Okay. All right, so we're good. Okay. Do you want to repeat that back real quick?
I will do it again.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, in our closed session, the board approved an amendment to an existing contract. However, it has not been accepted by the other party at this time. So until such time as that acceptance takes place, it still remains confidential and it is available for disclosure after that date upon request.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the general order of business. I've asked Councilmember Echeverria to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand, ladies and gentlemen. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Burrows, are there any items to be added or deleted?
No items, sir.
Thank you, sir. We will deal with conflicts of interest as they arise. Moving on to item G, informational items. Mr. Burrows.
So we will start with Ms. Beltran, who has an update on our ongoing grant initiatives. Miriam.
Good afternoon, and thank you. So we have a few grant initiatives that can only be achieved through formed local partnerships and funding programs from utilities, state, and federal agencies. So we're very appreciative of those opportunities. The first project here is the 3rd and 3rd Street Corridor Project. It's located on the north side of the airport, and it is currently in construction with about 70% completion. Granite Construction has performed substantial work on the traffic signal modifications and also placement of concrete and asphalt pavement. For traffic control measures, the City of Highland did report that this week and through the 17th, you'll see from the exhibit below that they will have Palm at the 5th Street intersection open. However, 5th Street from Palm to Church Avenue will be reduced to 1 lane in each direction. And this is going to give the contractor an opportunity to work in the eastbound lanes to start the construction of the median island. This project is anticipated to be completed by June of 2024. And if you notice that there's other improvements that are being taking place just east of Church, that is a separate project that is being done by East Valley Water District. Next slide, please. So Sterling Avenue improvements is another intersection and roadway project that's being funded by IVDA. This is a partnership with the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. This project is consistent with fiscal impacts that we've experienced that are just being felt around the region. So we are working with the engineering team to refine design and use value engineering to remove the bridge deck from the original scope. We believe we've identified a cost-effective delivery strategy that we'll be submitting to the EDA for their consideration. Next slide, please. The 3rd Street Corridor is receiving a $3 million grant from the Department of Transportation. This project is about 90% complete. These roadway improvements, as you can see from the exhibit, will stretch from Victoria Avenue west to Del Rosa Avenue. Staff is currently working with SBCTA and Caltrans on preliminary paperwork to move the project, to have the project cleared and move it forward into the pre-construction phase. Next slide, please. The electric vehicle charging stations, we're happy to report that the Lexavere location has 24 publicly accessible stations that have been energized and ready for use. The remaining sites on the exhibit, for the most part, have the groundwork in place, but we're still awaiting delivery of Edison's electrical gear. So we're optimistic that these locations will be energized by the end of the year. That completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. 2C?
And then last but not least, as with years prior, the airport will be co-hosting an annual turkey trot on the morning of Thanksgiving. And this will actually be, again, thanks to our friends at TSA, an event that will actually allow participants, whether it's a 5K run or a 10K run, to actually run around the end of the runway and back. So pretty unique opportunity.
I think there's some pictures of you somewhere in a turkey costume that I was hoping to see in this presentation, but
Thankfully, they've come up with a cartoon version, so that's apparently what I look like as a cartoon character. But no, it's again, Thanksgiving morning. It's a good time, and would invite everybody to come out and participate.
okay, thank you very much. Moving on to H, board consent items. I have a motion by Mayor Navarro and a second by Councilmember Charette.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Navarro and a second by Member Charette. Members, please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Echevarria.
Yes.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Buckeye.
Member Armendariz.
Armendariz, aye.
Member-
Armendariz, aye.
Thank you. Member Ibarra.
Yes.
Member Figueroa.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. Those items pass unanimously.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 7, Mr. Kuzenow.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is to adopt a resolution updating our signature authorities for local agency investment fund at the California State Treasurer's Office. It has not been updated since 2013. That delay has been primarily due to the litigation surrounding the dissolution of redevelopment powers. And with that, we had asked that you approve the resolution.
Baca moves to approve.
I have a first by Supervisor Baca. The second by Mr. Charette.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Charette. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Echevarria. Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Baca.
Buckeye.
Member Armendariz.
Armendariz, aye.
Member Ibarra.
Yes.
Member Figueroa.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Item number 8, Mr. Burrows.
So item number 8 is something that has been long on the action plan and business plan for the IVDA. We had previously referred to this as the 3rd and 5th Street corridor. That was before the airport gateway specific plan came into being. And we have gone back to the stakeholders that have been working with us on various aspects of this corridor, and are pleased to report that they would like to pursue more infrastructure work with the IVDA moving forward. So staff has developed a overview of what that project could look like, and we are pleased to present at least the first stage of that to you today. So if we go to the PowerPoint here, what we're envisioning here is a new project that would be the Inland Valley Infrastructure Corridor. So we're talking about infrastructure being the project, and this would be a project that we would look to go through an environmental review process, a brand new environmental review process, if it meets with your support today. So next slide, if you could. This would be the corridor. So similar, areas than we've studied with the stakeholders, both the city of San Bernardino, the city of Highland, as well as San Manuel, and both East Valley Water District, as well as San Bernardino Water Department, in looking at what is additional improvements are needed to serve this area in the years to come. So this would be a new environmental impact report that has not been drafted yet, obviously, and that would be prepared and calendared for circulation in the coming months. Next slide, if you could. So the things that this project would focus on are, for instance, improvements to water, sewer, roadway infrastructure, stormwater drainage facilities or areas that need stormwater drainage improvements, and then additional utility integration. So we are all looking at new technologies. You saw information about additional electric vehicle charging. As you know, the airport has some experience working with hydrogen vehicles, and where those opportunities can be integrated into these new corridor improvements, we of course would make preparations to make those things occur. Next slide, if you could. So this is literally an extension of what we have continued to do. So Ms. Beltran has indicated a few active projects we're working on regionally. This is sort of a recap of the things that have been completed or are in process or will be coming soon in the corridor. Right now, that total is about $33 million of upgrades, and with the EIR going forward, if that can be adopted, that can open the door for more infrastructure improvement money coming in to continue to improve this area north of the airport. And that would be flood control channel improvements at City Creek, as well as additional road infrastructure to align those corridors. Next slide, if you could. Graphically, that's what those projects look like, where they're at. As Miriam mentioned, the blue area there is currently under construction right now and will be nearing completion next year, but there's a lot more work to do. And this would then extend that planning effort with the collaboration of the agencies that we have worked with and will continue to work with to continue to improve the corridor landscape and infrastructure for the properties in that area. Next slide. So as I mentioned, we're working with the technical team to prepare an environmental impact report. This will have a brand new circulation timeline. We are expected to be able to issue a notice of preparation, which of course is the first step to start that process, by the end of this month. And the intent there is to have that on the IVDA homepage and available for the public and responsible agencies to be able to start to review and provide feedback. It'll have its new unique state clearinghouse number. So those comments will then be assigned and aligned with that process. We are going to, again, start a new outreach process with that EIR, with additional notices and meetings forthcoming there. As of right now, the technical studies that we've talked about a bit at these meetings do need some update. So we are in the process of making those the most current and ready for circulation. And we expect that work to be completed roughly in the next 2 months. So while we are confident you'll see a notice of preparation here by the end of the month, we do want to make sure that new EIR is ready for circulation. So expectation would be probably January of next year to have that published and available for everyone's review. So with that, that's our update, and appreciate any feedback and comments, questions you might have.
Yes, Ms. Ibarra.
Yes. So you're anticipating in January when the public notice will be sent out? Is that?
That would be that with, along with the timelines for, things like public meetings and additional outreach that would occur. Right now, we got to, keep the team's head focused on the EIR and all of the CEQA requirements that we need to meet. And then we'll be able to produce that timeline very, very shortly. So a couple months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Supervisor.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I appreciate Mike for the update, and this whole plan is basically taking a pivot from where we were before, right? And basically focusing on the streets, roads, and infrastructures. The three primarily agencies we'd work with would be City of Highland, City of San Bernardino, and the County of San Bernardino, and East Valley Water District. So those four agencies would be the ones we primarily work with. And just, is there any housing element in this at all?
I'm glad you asked that question. No housing element, and no proposes and changes in land use. The respective cities and county jurisdictions retain those rights that they already have.
Okay, so no land use. So this really changes the landscape. And I think this is a good plan. It addresses some of the concerns that our residents had about relocation plans, but it really gives this agency and this body an opportunity to really focus on improving these roads and infrastructure, which have been long overdue in this community. And I think you did a great job, Mike. And are you asking today for us to adopt this element?
At this point, we're providing you where we are to date and invite feedback on that. With your support today, we would be moving to publish the notice of preparation, and then there'll be plenty of time to review drafts as we move forward. So just consensus would be helpful, but make sure we're heading the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's a great plan. I'm in full support.
You want to make a motion then on?
So move.
Yes.
Ms. Ibarra.
Just wanted to clarify, in the original presentation, San Bernardino County was not mentioned, so they are partners, and the San Manuel is also partners, correct?
San Manuel is a stakeholder in this. They helped provide some initial funding when we were doing the engineering that supports this, as did East Valley. So that's how we include them as stakeholders, and they've stayed stakeholders throughout the process.
Thank you. And I second Supervisor Baca's notion about, bringing in the housing element into play also to address
Thanks.
the relocation. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a first by Supervisor Baca, a second by Councilwoman Ibarra to move this forward.
Did you want to take a vote? All righty, we have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Ibarra to move forward with the Inland Valley Infrastructure Corridor Plan.
Mike,
Please.
real quick, Mike, did you have a comment? Sorry.
Not necessarily. Mr. Rose was asking about a vote or not. I mean, it is a vote to just move forward or not an actual approval
Correct.
vote or something.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Did I need to take a member roll call? Legal counsel?
Yes, please.
Okay. We have a motion by Member Baca and a second by Member Ibarra. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Echevarria?
Yes.
Member Duper?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Baca?
Buckeye.
Member Armendariz?
Armendariz, aye.
Member Ibarra?
Yes.
Member Figueroa? And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to see how this develops. Okay, moving on to item number 9, consider and discuss a report on the UAS Center. Ms. Benson.
Good evening, everyone. I serve as the administrator for the UAS Center. I know several of you. It's good to see you again. Next slide. This particular slide outlines, as we've talked about before, the 3 major objectives of the UAS Center. The first is fueling innovation and the adoption of drone technology in our region. The second is creating safer communities, primarily through the adoption of policies and procedures that the county actually has already adopted, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. The third pillar is developing our workforce, and we do that by providing programs for young adults and also for people who are looking to reskill or upskill. Next slide. So to give a little bit more detail about what we're doing on adoption of drone technology in our region, we are working closely with the FAA as well as the University of Alaska Fairbanks to identify some much larger sites here in the region that can be used by drone companies as they continue to progress and evolve their technology. We have, as you know, a site at SBD, which works very well for demos and also for drone companies that are looking, for example, to do redundancy testing on parts and things like that. We also train small groups there. But what's happening is a lot of the drone companies now are requiring much, much larger areas of land to test their drones and to develop them further. Drones are becoming much faster and with much longer battery lives, and so that's the reason for that. In addition, we continue to expand our training programs to include not only drone pilot programs, but also to increase the skill of those pilots with respect to safety, understanding of weather risks, and also development of training curriculum for the drone companies that come to us for services. We also have several international strategic partnerships around the world, and those are developed specifically to drive foreign direct investment into this region and also to provide a channel for U.S. companies in our area to commercialize globally. Next slide. So we talked about the second pillar of creating safer communities, and as you may know, in May of this year, the County of San Bernardino adopted a comprehensive drone policy that was written by our team. This constituted the first county in the United States to adopt a written drone policy. And since then, the UAS Center has developed a series of 4 different programs that are designed specifically to support the county's adherence to that written policy. So that's important. It's not enough simply to have a written policy, but you have to also adhere to it. So the programs that we developed enable each county agency to be sure that their pilots are trained up to a certain standard, that the drones themselves are maintained properly and safe to operate. And so we're making sure that the compliance exists at the county level. We're also taking this same template and marketing this to other county and local governments around the region. Next slide. So with respect to developing our workforce, we have a very strong relationship with San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. We have put several groups of students now through that program. I think we've done that program 4 times and looking forward to doing more. These are comprehensive drone pilot trainings that enable the students to not only take and pass the Part 107 exam to become certified drone pilots, but then also get the hands-on flight training they need to be able to fly safely. In addition to that, we have a very vibrant program with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona. They have a UAS major, a drone major, and those students work with us in the form of paid internships and as research associates. So they work with us on research in support of our client companies. And then lastly, a program that we just actually did for the first time this morning, we have a micro internship program now, which we would like to offer to many high schools, but we just did it for the first time this morning with Morongo High. We had a group of students who came and spent the morning with us and basically got immersed in the career opportunities that exist in the industry. Next slide. This slide, basically just highlights one more time the projected high growth in demand for drone pilots, as well as the incredible market opportunity that this industry offers for all of us, and the growing demand. So we feel like we're in the right place at the right time here at SPD. Next slide. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Any questions from the dais? Seeing none, moving on to item number 10. Mr. Burrows, our updated action plan.
Okay, so you've heard from Ms. Beltran on our grant programs. That doesn't mean that we're stopping our pursuit of additional grants. In fact, she and I had a productive call with the U.S. Department of Commerce team just the other day, and we have a few other programs coming their way. In addition, she is on track to provide the necessary inputs to our annual comprehensive economic development strategy update, which is the requirement to be eligible for future EDA grants. And those discussions with the participating agencies will occur here again this month, and then hopefully have a submission to EDA for approval. December, Mr. Cousineau and team are working with our auditors on the annual audit, and we will have any pertinent updates on the business plan may need to come before you in the coming year around the clock. So I know holidays are upon us, and that concludes our report.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the dais? Seeing none, we're going to move on to open session public comment. Ms. Martha Romero.
Good evening, Board. Martha Romero with Teamsters Local 1932 with San Bernardino Airport Communities. We missed you guys. None of you guys showed up to the barbecue. Shame on you. However, City of Highland did send two of their people, two of the board. So it turned out excellent. Community was in good vibes. It was 350 that showed up from the community, so it was an excellent event. It was conducted at the City of Highlands Community Park. One of the biggest things that we came out from there is that we let them know about the Gateway, bless you. We did let them know about, what happened with the Gateway specific plan. They were happy about it. However, they know that more warehouses are going to come to our neighborhood, unfortunately. We're the mega of warehouse, it seems. They were excited about the fact that we were letting them know that the infrastructure, that the IVDA was refocusing their project in the sense to trying to look and have the community looking better as well. Some of the community members are still worried of the detriment that potential warehouse around the area will bring to the community. One of the biggest things that I would like to applaud is the fact that you guys are trying to work in beautifying our area. As we know, the corridor is an eyesore, between the potholes that we have created because of the trucks that have taken advantage of our roads, and unfortunately our roads are old, as we know, and the concrete does not have the capacity to hold those big rigs. So yeah, I do live in the community, so I do get frustrated from the traffic because of those constructions, but overall I would like to point out that we're still here and strong. Applaud the fact that we do have interpreters. However, we did brought the equipment for them to be able to hear. So yeah, good job on that translation. Thanks for the interpreters. And thanks for PSIC for bringing in their equipment as well. So round of applause for them. We're going to continue to come here and hold all you guys accountable for what we need for our community. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to board member comment. Any comments from the board? Seeing none.